Hello. This is Raphael, the Kwisatz Haderach. Sorry, this is Raphael from Orthodox Review, the most uneducated educational program on the internet. Thank you for supporting the show through your generous contributions and patronage. Please like, share, and subscribe because it really helps with the algorithm. If you are so inclined, please check out the links below and send me lots of money. I am a greedy piggy and like to buy stuff. Thank you. Well, hello there, and welcome back to Orthodox Review, the most uneducated educational program here on the internet today. I am your host, the guy with 1.5 thumbs, Raphael, and I'm so very, very happy to be here with you today. And ask and you shall receive. We're doing Matins today. We're going to do a little walkthrough, a very simple one, because like we all know, it's a bit of a complicated service, and so we're going to get into what makes it complicated. And of the myriad of books that I have containing that service, whether it be individual service books or the many orologians I have floating around. In fact, the camera is actually sitting on top of one right now. We're going to do it out of the Anthologian because it's the easiest one to follow through with, and the notations are actually really, really excellent. So before we get into that, huge shout out to Patreons and PayPal supporters and Cashapp and Venmo and everyone that drops little nuggets in there for me. I really appreciate it. And if you'd like to help support the show and continue the work we're doing, Patreon starts at $1 a month, and I do throw Patreon exclusive stuff up there occasionally, so it's a thing. You know, times are tough, I get it. Not a lot of people got money. I'm right there with you, obviously. Still waiting on my disability. So, and also, I had an idea this morning. It's well known that there's a few of us in the Orthodox Review community that are into metal, and I have a very limited wardrobe. So here's an idea. You can send. This is so stupid. If you want to rep a band that you really like, even if it's one that I hate, you can send me a shirt. To the address here, and I'll wear it on the show, and I'll shout you out, and it'll be fun. And who knows, maybe I'll discover new music, or maybe I'll be super ashamed. I wear a 2XL, by the way. I'm fat. Anyway, okay, that's out of the way. I should cut that out. No, we're leaving it. Anyway, so let's get into this. I did write down a map here, and so we're gonna grab the book, and I'll be flashing some stuff up on the screen. It'll be great. So here we go. And if I'm not looking at the camera, I'm sorry. Like I'm not like one of those fancy YouTubers that has like a big whiteboard or something behind the camera where I can just kind of, you know, read the cue, pause, and then, you know, we do a whole bunch of clever edits. If someone wants to donate a whiteboard, I guess that's a thing. I don't listen to me. Why are you even watching this show? There's so many better Orthodox YouTubers out there. My goodness. All right, let's get into this. So, Matins, an outline, the simple service. Okay, the first thing we have to say about Matins is weekday Matins, Saturday Matins, and Sunday Matins vary slightly. And that being said, I might point out where the variations are, but I figured we'd do the weekday Matins because that's the more straightforward one to get through. It gives us the outline of the procession of the service. Now, that being said, the way Matins works in the context of a vigil is also different, and because vigils are usually held on Saturday nights, feast days, that sort of thing, a whole lot of shifting goes on. And so when we do our video with Father Michael from Living Orthodox, he's going to take us through the vigil and explain just how important that is. So, so for the purpose of this video, just going to go through Matins and going to try to break it down for you as best I can to help you understand it. Now, Matins, like Vespers, and just like the hours, is mostly comprised in its skeletal form, in its basic form, of a lot of psalms. A lot of psalms. You have 2 kathismas that are read, and during the winter months, 3 kathismas sometimes, depending on what rule you follow. And really, the only big portion of the service that kind of takes up a lot of room is the canon, but we'll get to that in a minute. So let's go through this. So Matins begins with what's called the royal office, which is it's simple. It's very simple. It's the way every single Matin service starts. So it starts with the Trisagion, Psalms 19 and 20. Okay, the Trisagion again, and then you have the Troparion, and that particular Troparia, in the case of all services, is Lord save your people, bless your inheritance. And here, let's just do this. Screen cap that, all right? You have the Troparia, and then you have the 6 Psalms. And the 6 Psalms are great. I love the way the 6 Psalms work. For reference, in case you're not capable of Googling, or if you don't know this or have access to this information, are 3, 37, 62, with a glory now and ever there, but we do not cross ourselves and bow. I don't know why. That's how the rubrics work. And then 87, 102, and 142. And what you will notice if you read through the 6 Psalms is that it is a progression from the previous day up to now. And it is a progression of our salvation. It's really beautiful the way that works out. So after the 6 Psalms, you come to Matins proper. So, and then, for a simple service, you go into the Lord is God. The Lord is God and has appeared unto us. Blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord. And there are verses. And then, after that, we have the hymn to the Trinity. Now that could also vary depending on the ranking of the service, the day, the season, a lot of variables there. And then, okay, then you have the kathismas. That's the Psalter readings for the day. Now, for those of you that don't know yet, a kathisma is a section of the Psalter. The Psalter is divided into 20 kathismas. Kathisma meaning sitting, so that's the part of the service where in monasteries the monks were allowed to sit back in their stasis. And so you have 20 kathismas, and they're divided up throughout the week. During Matins, we read 2 kathismas that are appointed for that day. After each kathisma, there is a set of prayers that are said, the kathismata, the kathisma prayers, which you will find in the service book. Depends on the day. But they are in there. So that is one variable portion of the service right there. We have Psalm 50, and then the Canon. Now the Canon can get huge. If you were to go to Mount Athos and attend a vigil service, or even a Matin service at one of the bigger, say Simon Los Petra and Nieskiti, St. Pantaleon, they will do as many canons and acathists as they can jam in there. The way it works is, let's say you have a simple 1 canon, so you have 9 odes. You get through them, and it's easy to find. We have canons, and I can't think of a prayer book that doesn't have a canon in it, aside from, I don't know, Little Red. So most prayer books have canons in them. So you understand how a canon works. You know, you have a set of troparia and verses, but you know, in a full-blown, no edits, no cutscenes version of Matins, you could have numerous canons where you would have the first ode of each, the second ode of each, the third ode of each. And of course, liturgically, canons have 2 sections where there are specific prayers that are said, or litanies, by the priest and the faithful. So the canon can get pretty big. Okay, so we have our canons. We have this is one of those words that I've been reading for like a dozen years, and I always have to sound it out. Exapostolaria for the day, which is another one of those varying prayers that goes day to day. Anyway, we've gotten to lauds. So lauds is, guess what? We're getting close to the end here, and if the service is being done in its fullness, we're about 2 hours in. So you have Psalms 148, 149, and 150. Lauds being the praises. The last three Psalms in the Psalter are praising, praise God. Then you have the great doxology, the apostica, all right, and the apostica, those are carried over from Vespers. Same thing with the apolytikion, but we haven't got to that yet, because after the apostica we have the Trisagion again, and that's our sign that we are nearing the end, because just like in Vespers, after the Trisagion, there's only a few prayers, that being the apolytikion for the day, and then your dismissal. Now, throughout the course of the service, there are litanies of various degrees, but what I wanted to do with breaking it down this way is show that Matins isn't necessarily as complex as you think. What makes Matins complex, aside from the couple, three variable portions of the service, is that typically in parish use, the Matin service is abridged to some degree or another. We pray Matins here at St. Basil's every Tuesday morning, and Father Andrew, actually, he is an ace typesetter, and much like me, is a liturgics nerd. So he put together these beautiful books, right, that he printed himself for the Matin service on Tuesdays, just so we'd have a couple around for when we do it. And but now that he's kind of augmenting the service more to meet the needs of the faithful that are there and everything, because season by season things change. So no matter what church you go to, if it is just a regular Matin service, typically it's been chopped down just a wee bit, just out of economia, because like I said, if you serve a proper, we gotta do this the right way, the canons say rah 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 rah, yeah, it's, you 3 hours before liturgy, no, the canons are all nice and fine, but let's face it, if the entire church followed all the canons of the church, I don't think anyone would survive. Thank God for economia and for his mercy towards us, for our weaknesses in not being able to do these things. That being said, I hope this is a good primer for you, and I will. Everyone said, "Oh, explain Matins. It's so confusing." It's not confusing. There's just a lot of parts, and if you're not paying attention, you could lose your place if you're following along with the book. Personally, I like having the book so I can study the services. I very rarely bring a service book into church unless I'm using it for some sort of reference that I'm curious about. Otherwise, it's good to just stand there, be present, and listen, and be attentive, because all of our theology, all of our beliefs can be found in the hymns of the church. This is not just psalmody; it's so much more. Every service of the church teaches us something about the faith. And the daily services of Vespers and Matins are beautiful, because every day of the year you get to learn about the saints through the hymnody. You get to learn about the journey of salvation through the hymnody, and not to mention the gospel readings and the scriptural readings from the prophetologian, from the apostol. So if you're going to the services, and you're not, and you're trying to follow along with a book, just put the book down, just be attentive, as the priests and deacons often tell us to do. So, okay, I hope that wasn't too long-winded or too boring for you or too simple for you. I don't know. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in. Again, ways to support the show are down below. I thank
God every day for each and every one of you, and I do pray for you, and I hope you're praying for me. Please pray for me, because I need your prayers. My body is just deteriorating, and it sucks. And I'm okay. No. I'm not gonna get into that because I always wind up crying. Anyway, on behalf of Patches the Murder Kitten and myself, thank you once again, and don't forget to go to church, say your prayers, and remember God. God bless.